What's up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. If you guys do not know who I am, my name is Giovanni Fiderio. I'm 24 years old, and I feel like a lot of people, you guys know who I am on Instagram or you hear my stories, but you don't really know much about me. So that's what this video is going to be about, a little bit about me and exactly the different pillars I classify in life that we must go through in order to be successful. So I started off like any other kid, high school, played football, right? I went to college because that's the only thing I knew what to do, right? Go to college, get a bachelor's degree. I got a bachelor's degree in nutrition, communication, nutrition. And then my goal was always to be a firefighter. It was either to be a firefighter or a physical trainer. Either one I was going to choose, but I wasn't really sure which one I wanted to do. Anyways, I graduated college, got that bachelor's degree. I was the very first generation in my family. So that felt really good, right? Because I wanted to set the tone. I wanted to set an example. So after I graduated, I got my EMT. I went back home, which is Long Beach for me. I got my EMT and I was applying to different fire departments, to this one, going on mock interviews, ride-alongs, and I was going to be a firefighter, right? I was doing my best. And then eventually one day I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? I want to grow my hair out. Back then we couldn't, it was only like 6 or 7 months ago, but back then we weren't allowed to have long hair, right? It was harder to get in with tattoos. You had to cover them up. You couldn't have nose piercings or earrings or anything like that. And I was like, why am I holding myself back from being the person I want to be? And in my mind, I was like, I should be able to have long hair, be able to get tattoos and be myself without anybody telling me what to do, right? So that's when I put my foot down and I was like, you know what? I'm going to live the life that I want to live. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to let anything hold me back. I don't want to have a boss. I'm going to be my own boss and I will be successful. And that's when I decided to finally quit all the bullshit. But one thing that was really holding me back was my vices. I realized my vices were holding me back, which was I was smoking weed. I was playing a whole bunch of video games. I was hanging out with a whole bunch of girls, going on dates, right? That just wasting my time, partying on the weekends, drinking alcohol, doing drugs, all these dumb things that were holding me back. And of course, when I was applying to be a firefighter, I cut some of those things back, but I was still occasionally drinking, playing video games, watching anime, doing all these things that just were not benefiting me at all. It was all just, back then, it was all just vanity. All just vanity. And I realized I was like, I need to get rid of these vices in order to succeed. So starting January, this upcoming January, that's when I fully started locking in on myself and my business. And I decided to change for the good and get rid of all my vices. And I've been very consistent. I've been giving my best every single day. And I feel like a lot of you guys might be in a situation where maybe you're in a position where you can't quit smoking weed. Maybe you're in a position where you have trouble, maybe you have a porn addiction, maybe you play video games all day, maybe you hang out with girls and you're just worrying about, going to get girls all the time. But all of that, is it really making you successful or is it holding you back? And that's something you have to realize. You got to realize everything that's holding you back and just cut out all the noise and just focus. So the different pillars that I want to talk about, here are the 4 different pillars on how you can go from not really knowing where you are in life to being successful and achieving the very best person you can possibly be. And it starts off like this. The 4 pillars are being asleep, waking up, awakening, and then transcendence. So it starts off with being asleep. Now, some of you guys are like, asleep? What do you mean? So I honestly think most people in this world are asleep. Even though they're awake, they're sleeping. And you're probably thinking like, what do you mean asleep? I'm awake right now. How can I be asleep? And what I mean by this is you specifically are asleep in a sense of you don't know what you're doing. You're not aware. You're not aware of your surroundings. You don't know why you're doing certain things. You're just kind of living life. You're in this stage of just living life. Even if you are pursuing a goal, you still don't know why you're pursuing the goal. You still don't know why you're doing things. You still don't know how your actions affect other things in your life. So you're basically asleep. And I was in the same exact position. Back then, I was smoking weed. I was playing video games. I was just trying to be a firefighter, right? I was just going to school because I thought it was what I needed to do. And it was a waste of time. I didn't realize exactly what I was doing until I had that realization that, you know what, I want to be my own boss. I can do anything I want to do in this world, in this life. You only have one. and you have the reality, you have the control to control your own reality. I woke up. That's called waking up. Some of you guys don't really wake up, but you need to. You need to wake up. So after I woke up and I realized I'm in control of my situation and I can do anything I want to do in life, that is when awakening starts to happen. That's when you realize you have vices that are holding you back. That's when you realize you can do a lot more in life, and you try to start taking all these things out of your life, right? All the vices that are holding you back. For example, like the smoking weed, right? The hanging out with girls, the partying, the alcohol, the staying up all night playing video games. That's when you try to actually remove these things out of your life, and you're trying to push yourself for the better. You're trying to get better, because that's the only way you can truly achieve the best version of yourself. Now, I honestly think most people do get to the awakening stage where they try and get better. They try to remove all the bad things out of their life, but they don't fully commit, right? Maybe they remove it out of their life and then they resort back to it. And I'm not saying that you can't play video games or you can't, hang out with girls and do all these things, but if you really want to reach transcendence, which is what we're about to get into right now, you have to remove those things for a certain amount of time out of your life. Or you could try to coexist with both, but it's going to slow you down if you try to coexist with all your vices that are basically holding you back if you really want to reach transcendence. So the final stage is becoming the best version of yourself, which is transcendence. Becoming and tapping into that flow state, becoming that millionaire self of yours that you envision. What would that person be doing every single day? What type of habits would that person be doing every single day? What time would they be waking up? Would they be working out every single day? How would they be eating? What foods would they be putting into their body? What type of people would they be surrounding themselves with? That is when you reach transcendence, when you truly start becoming successful, when you truly reach that echelon of just success. And I'm not there yet. I am not there yet. I'm not close. I consider myself in the awakening stage. I removed all of my vices. I'm 100% locked in. I don't play any video games. I don't smoke any weed. I don't go out and drink on the weekends. I don't go out and hang out with girls or try to go on dates or impress anybody. I clearly just focus on myself, and I am succeeding, and I am moving closer and closer to transcendence every single day. Now, honestly, if you're an entrepreneur, this makes a lot more sense, but anybody can go through these stages. It's just all about becoming the best version of yourself every single day. That's exactly how you do it. Now, the only way to get to transcendence is you have to be able to push past a mediocrity lifestyle. You have to be able to push past mediocrity. If you cannot push past that, if you can't get rid of your limiting beliefs, you are never going to get there, ever. You have to truly trust yourself. You have to be tired and just upset with living a mundane lifestyle. Everything that you're thinking becomes important. Every action that you do, you know why you're doing it. You're awake, right? That's what the awakening is for. You are aware and fully aware of what you're doing. You realize everything around you in life you can control. It is in your power, right? Based off your actions, there will be an outcome. So how will you act from now on? That is the awakening. And the transcendence is being able to push past your limiting beliefs, being able to push past into a different type of lifestyle. And I truly believe every single one of you has it in you to push past and make it into that lifestyle. So that's it for the video today, boys. I just wanted to get into that real quick, give you a good idea of the 4 pillars. Remember, being asleep, waking up, awakening, and then transcendence. I believe every single one of you out there have a lot of potential. Do not let it go to waste. And other than that, that's about it for the video. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.